Gentlemen, let's get into the video. Let us discuss Windows 8. Now, I know that's a bit of an interesting topic. Some people absolutely love Windows 8. Other people are not so much. However, Microsoft, apparently, judging from rumors, and these have been dug up by Paul Thorett, hopefully I've pronounced that correctly, states that we're going to be seeing the return of the traditional Start button. I'm sure many of you will be aware that, of course, Windows 8.1's rolled out, and it has done some backtracking with the traditional Windows 8 design. But now we're not just going to be seeing a Start button, we're also going to be seeing a Start menu. The Start screen, it's something you're either going to love or hate with Windows 8. Personally, I would have liked an option where you could just have kind of an option between them. It's not exactly a smooth experience. However, with 8.2 landing, and no, we don't have an exact date as of yet. Apparently, it's going to be some point late next year or early 2015. So it's not exactly going to be soon. A lot of users were not happy with the Start menu in 8.1 because what they thought, well, the Start button, I'm sorry, what they thought is they were going to get the traditional Start menu. In reality, you didn't. It basically was just a way to load up the modern API. Now, I actually don't mind the tiled interface with 8. I initially didn't like it, I'll be honest, when I first used it, and in a server environment, so I'm talking about like, for say 2012 server, I really don't like it. It's a pain in the butt. But for the desktop, it's actually quite a nice experience, at least in my personal opinion. There's also rumors, and this is from ZDNet, that Microsoft are planning a series of updates for Windows Phone, Xbox One, as well as the Windows 8.x platforms, and this is dubbed as Threshold. Now, Threshold is supposedly going to be a threshold of unified APIs. So that means that there's going to be basically 3 of these versions. 8.1 is going to, 8.2, I'm sorry, which is a guess. This has not been confirmed. It could be named something completely different. It'll come in 3 forms. There's going to be a consumer OS SKU for ARM's holdings. So that'll be for things such as Windows phones and so on. There's going to be a traditional x86 SKU. So, in other words, the desktop. And there's also going to be a traditional enterprise SKU. Funnily enough, just as I mentioned, many developers in the commercial way, so for example, server operators, that type of thing, haven't really enjoyed the touch-driven type of interface with the UI. And they want to start to fix that. They want it to be more how it used to be with, say, previous versions of Server 2008 or Server 2003. And we know that Microsoft have spoken heavily that they do want an API, application programming interface, unification. They've said that in numerous presentations. They've mentioned that in various interviews. This is like what they see. They want this overall architecture. So if someone releases an app on the Xbox One, it's going to be easy and simple for them to also develop those tools to release it on the desktop or to release it on the phone, and so on and so forth. It's also claimed that Windows 8.2 will also allow the users to run the modern UI, also known to its friends and buddies as Metro apps, in floating windows on a desktop. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. It sounds like it could be a bit of a clash, honestly. But if it does hold to be true, it'll be interesting, I suppose. Microsoft's future right now is a little bit uncertain. We know that there are multiple candidates for the new CEO position. One of them, Mr. Mullerley, has stated that he will remain at the position he has currently at the head of Ford for 2014, but Forbes, meanwhile, contends that that's not actually true. It's, possible that he may actually decide to leave and actually take over at Microsoft. Now, if he does, it'll be very interesting to see what he has planned. Meanwhile, Mr. Ilop There's actually reported that if he does take over as CEO, he'll be moving away from Microsoft's own applications like Internet Explorer and Office, and rather than making them, say, as exclusive, he'll also release them on platforms, say, like Google's Chrome OS. And you can imagine what that would be like if Google's Chrome OS started to actually get these, or say the Apple Store and OS X and so on. It would basically be that Microsoft would not have so much exclusivity. Instead, it would start to basically farm out its services. It would become a lot more service-based. Please also bear in mind that there are also rumors that Microsoft themselves aren't, at least many in Microsoft, aren't actually happy with the Xbox division. They've said that it's costing them too much money, it's not really giving them as many benefits as maybe it should, and there's actually rumours that some people want to sell it off. Meanwhile, Steve Ballmer is actually, in one of the last things he actually said is that we need to keep, the Xbox division. There was actually a report on that just recently. So things are definitely moving. With a lot of games developers right now, as well as a lot of support going towards the Linux platform, I would really like to see a good alternative for the desktop. I'm not saying that I would necessarily like it to be replaced. I'm still 50-50 on the API / overall style of a unification between the desktop and cell phones. I understand it can be very tempting and it could be kind of cool if it was done right. My concern, however, is that, at least for now, I'm not ready to part with my mouse. And I think one of the problems with Windows 8 is that it's really optimized a lot of stuff for touch. And I could imagine it would be great for touch. I personally don't use it for touch. I personally use, standard keyboard and mouse. But I don't think that this has been something that's been heavily thought out for that, and you could see that there was a lot of backlash, and Microsoft has started to lose some market share for those reasons. Hopefully they'll start to regain some. As they say, it is all up in the air. I think that there's probably going to be some internal struggles and a lot of soul searching that Microsoft has to do. Don't forget, their own infrastructure, for example Windows Azure, is very popular right now. They're making a lot of money through the cloud services, and their cloud services, in a very short space of time, may I add, comparatively, they've already started to actually overtake the performance of Amazon. There have been independent reports that verified this, that their services are actually faster. They're faster compute and actually slightly less latency, which of course is perfect for the Xbox One, since it's actually using a lot of the cloud services, for example with Xbox Live. Regardless, watch this space, as I say. Meanwhile, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.